Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to talk about. WWE 2K25 DLC, the NBA players, the Great Khali, Abyss, the whole shebang. Now, there was a lot of mixed opinions with this DLC pack, and there's a lot to get into because I do have some opinions of my own as well. Let's go on ahead and get into it, review this pack. Is it worth it? Is it not? Did it exceed expectations? Let's go on ahead and find out. The first character I want to go on ahead and start with is the Great Khali. I thought that this character looked absolutely amazing graphically and just motion and everything. Honestly, 2K really does very well when it comes down to designing these characters, and getting the heel version of the Great Khali, something we haven't seen in a really long time, was extremely fun to see as well. Now, the motions that they added to him, such as, you know, when he grabs the neck or almost even the head of the opponent to pick him up, there's just a lot of things and gameplay features that they added to make the Great Khali really feel like himself. And that's something that I really like, that stands out with the DLC of these games, is that they always do that, and I think that they need to continue doing that. It almost goes back to one thing I pointed out, where a wrestler moves like themselves. That is something that I believe they are looking into working on, based on one of the interviews that we had with Brian Williams a couple months ago. And that is something that I want to see for every wrestler, the way they move, the way they act. And that's something that they seem to hone in on with the DLC, with adding certain animations that pertain to one character and the way they act. So that is something I don't want to go into in depth, of course, but that is exciting to see. You know, with every DLC, there's certain animations that belong to certain wrestlers. So I want to continue seeing that. The Great Khali is a great example of that. Abyss. That is another character that, you know, I was excited to see, being that there was so much context behind it with him being from TNA. It was just a fun thing to see in the game. Now, I am not the person that knows about Abyss the most, because I am still pretty young and I never really was tuned in into TNA, but it is fun to see TNA characters in here. Really fun to see that that crossover is possible on a deeper level at some point. So I do think that that is exciting to see, especially for the future of the game. And I thought that they did really well with his entrance, and he got the theme that a lot of people wanted. So again, I think that this is all a really good thing for the game. But, you know, just want to go on ahead and point out that, you know, that crossover could mean more, bigger, and potential new things in the future of the series. So I do want to go on ahead and put that out there. I think that this is a good thing, and it needs to continue happening, except for the fact we don't need more NBA players. We don't need more celebrities. Give us more wrestlers from TNA. You know what I'm saying? Give us something different. So I think that this is all exciting, and I think that there is something in store for us consumers, fans, players in the future. Now let's get into it, right? The real nitty gritty, right? The mixed opinion, the polarizing NBA stars that got into this game. Let's go ahead and start with Shaq. Right now, of course, if I had to pick between NBA players and more wrestlers, obviously we're going to pick more wrestlers. Now, we see Shaq. I thought that he looked really good, and I would argue that that model may even look better than the NBA 2K model. And NBA 2K's graphics, they are very good. Now, the tattoos, the chains, everything, I thought it was dope. Now, looking at Shaq, looking, you know, at his animations, he had certain animations that were just his. Like, there was a dunk that he did a lot of years ago, and they got that animation in there where it looks like he's dunking on the opponent, and you have that animation. I thought that that was really cool as well. You do need to have the basketball in your hands, which I will get to in a second, but again, it is cool to see that they are focusing on honing in some more animations. Now, I know some people's thing would be, why not do that for wrestlers instead? I get it, you know what I'm saying, and I agree with you too. But seeing Shaq in a game was pretty cool. It's one of the celebrities that I respect the most being in the game, because he did participate in some sort of wrestling stuff a couple years back. So it is good to see Shaq in this game, in my opinion. You know, it is what it is. If they're going to pick a celebrity, use somebody that has been in the ring before. So that's the reason why I'm going to go on ahead and say that Shaq, I'll accept it. You know, he's 7 foot tall. He's someone that you can pair up if you want to do universe mode storylines, different things of that nature. You can do that. So I think that that's the best part about it, in my opinion. Now, Jaylen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton, he has the 50 Cent theme song, but it was exclusively locked to him, which caused fans to be very upset about that, which honestly, I could have predicted that as well. I was really hoping that it wasn't going to be the case, but it is, unfortunately. So that is one thing that I want to go on ahead and point out. But Tyrese Halliburton, he looks good as well. And Jaylen Brunson, I mean, he looks good too. If you guys know, man, I love hoops. So seeing Jaylen in there, being from New York, I thought it was kind of dope to have somebody, you know, that I watch pretty much all year round, and seeing him in the game. Now again, I understand that that's not supposed to appeal to most wrestling fans, but it was kind of cool to see for myself. Now it doesn't really excuse them adding NBA players, but we'll have to see, man, because it feels like this is the trend, this is the direction that they are going to continue to go in the future. So I think it is something that we're just gonna have to get used to, and unfortunately that's just what it's gonna be. Now we can complain all we want. I feel like that does cause changes sometimes, but I feel like the one change that they made from last year to this year, which was a good change, was spreading out the celebrities instead of dropping one big pack of celebrities. I think that it's better what they're doing now, where they're stretching it out and, throwing one here, two here. Just my opinion. Right now, everybody's arguing about DLC Celebrity 1. There's a lot of rumors pertaining DLC Celebrity 1. There's a lot to, going ahead and indulge with that. We're hopefully waiting on official word from WWE Games. All in all, this DLC was okay, in my opinion. The Great Khali Abyss, they completely nailed those wrestlers out the park. Now, I would understand why it would be rated low due to NBA stars being in there. Now, because of the general opinion and mixed opinions, it's just crazy. I'm not going to rate this pack today. I'm just not. But if you are a fan that likes the Great Khali and Abyss, obviously go and grab the pack because it'll be worth your $10. If you're someone who does not care and doesn't want to support it, do not buy the pack. If you are a casual fan who likes celebrities, who likes Abyss, who likes a Great Khali, not that I expect you to know Abyss if you are a casual fan, but again, if you like wrestling games and you like having fun in wrestling games, go buy this pack. But again, it really just depends on you and your pockets. I thought that the pack was okay. I think that, obviously we want more wrestlers in the future, but for the two wrestlers that were in there, they completely nailed those out of the park, in my opinion. So that's just where I'm coming from when it comes down to this DLC pack. Hopefully in the future, 2K can go on ahead and match our energy, give us more wrestlers. But for right now, that's really what it is. Now, I want to go over some details with DLC pack number 3. Brian Williams, shout out to him, man. One of the head developers of the game. Let's go on ahead and get into it. He was talking about Penta and some animations that Penta will have. So here, Brian Williams says Penta also has a cheap shot action during chain wrestling where he'll perform his Cero Miedo physical taunt. Penta will do his hand gesture, shove his opponent in the face. If you choose the drive action during chain wrestling and do Penta's cheap shot, you will trigger it. So this was from Brian Williams, which I think is really, really cool that they're going to go on ahead and add that. So that is exciting. Another detail that he went ahead and spoke about was, I can confirm that Penta will be able to remove his glove when you grab him for DLC 3. Hold the right trigger and press down D-pad to do so. I think Penta is going to be everyone's favorite. I'm a huge Penta fan, have been for years. Brian Williams is somebody who's very, very dedicated and likes wrestling and likes to produce these wrestling games and have been doing them for a while. So again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning, doing animations that pertain to each wrestler. That's what makes this game what it is for me when it comes down to the characters and roster. So that is super exciting to hear about. Penta will have his own exclusive animations in this game. So that is something to be excited about for DLC number 3. We still don't know many more details yet. We know that we have, I believe, either one more celebrity in this pack or the next one. I believe it's in this upcoming pack though. We'll have to see what happens, man, because these celebrities, aside from the NBA players, have caused a lot of issues this year. Nonetheless though, guys, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.